Yep, I'm back again. Burning a late night, early morning oil, I guess you call it. Just doing more thinking. This seems to be the best time to really think. Early in the morning, nobody's around. You know, you can pray, which I do daily all the time, or just think about things. Be creative. With so much going on all day long. Um, you don't really get a chance to settle your mind enough to create. I think a lot of poems get wrote early in the morning, late at night. Books get written, movie scripts, songs, all kinds of things. A lot of uh, just different things get done, early in the morning, late at night, however you want to call it. But I'm just thinking, about what's going on today. You read the headlines. It's like we going to hell in a handbasket. It seems like, but you know, looking at the political circus that we are um, going through right now, um, whether you're Democrat, Republican, liberal, whatever, people tend to forget that we all are going to be affected by whatever choices that are made. A lot of times things are done as a scare tactic or a mind game. And don't get me wrong, it's not just with the current uh, person that's in the White House, but it's happened uh, for years throughout time. Um, like I say, I'm a history buff, so I look at history, not just Black history, but history, period. And it's been things like this that has gone on for centuries, not just today. Um, but when I watched the way the elections went, when I watched, and yes, I voted, and no, I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, who I didn't vote for. That's my business. But just watching the way it went, it seemed more like um, we were watching uh, the WWE or watching, like today, it seems like, you know, we're watching a football game, and you got your two parties, and you got your quarterback, and they're being voted in, and it's just not it's like a circus. Politics used to be a serious thing, and the whole thing is, people are elected for the people, not for themselves. You got your rich, you got your wealthy, you got your rich, you got your middle class, and you got your poor. And you know, and this is just my opinion. Um, if a person was born rich or wealthy, they don't know what it's like to be poor. They don't know what it's like to struggle. Some struggle for them is trying to get good grades in school or college or whatever. But sometimes you have to look at different people and the way they've lived, or the way, if you get an elected official who does not know what it's like to really struggle, it's hard to really care about people that are not like you. It's hard to understand what it's like to know what government cheese is, or peanut butter in a can that you roll back. Yeah, I'm going back. I'm a 70s baby. But, know what it's like to have food stamps. And I ain't talking about an EBT card. I'm talking about food stamps. You don't know what it's like. So how can you relate? Just like a poor person doesn't know what it's like to eat caviar or buy $1,000 bottles of champagne or fly private, or some people don't even know what it's like to ride in a limousine, because they don't know what it's like. Except for if you went to the prom, if you could afford that. But so, a lot of times you have to look outside of yourself and see how another person lives. Look outside of yourself and see what other people go through on a daily basis. My biggest fear is to be homeless. But homeless and to a point to where, I have nothing, nowhere to go. I know what that's like. And a lot of people don't know that I know what that's like, but I do. But now I have children. I have grandchildren. I have a wife. And I got a lot to lose. So I can look at a person and if a person is homeless, some people tend to be judgmental with a homeless person or somebody begging or asking for a handout. And a lot of times I'll give them something. Even if it's my last, I'll give it to them because I don't know their circumstance. Sometimes you can kind of tell. Sometimes you can tell if a person's going to spend it on whatever their vice is, or they're actually going to go get food. But that's because I can relate. I wasn't born rich. I wasn't born wealthy. I'm not rich now. I'm not wealthy now. I'm rich with thoughts and ideas and things like that. But as far as the pocket, ain't made it there yet. But I'm on my way. We are on our way. Whenever I say I mean we. But, I can relate to that. I've been in the rooms with millionaires, billionaires. I've sat at the table at Carnegie Capital Funding when I was doing real estate investing and sat there and rubbed elbows with some really, really rich and powerful people. But I also know what it's like to be homeless. So I've gone from one spectrum to the next, so I know what it's like. And so sometimes, people that don't know how the other half live, it's hard to care about them or respond to them or whatever because they don't know how the other half lives. So before we decide to take a side, pick a side, choose a side, however you want to do it, get to know really who your elected officials are. And not just in the White House, but get to know who your people are in your community. Get to know who your people are in your community. Some people complain and they talk about, they doing this and they doing that and they changing this and they changing that, but they don't know why, because they won't even go into a town hall meeting with their mayor or with their congressman or whatever and see what's going on. But then you got complaints about why this has changed and why that's changed, and a lot of times it's public knowledge, it's public record. All you got to do is go look for it. You might actually make a difference. You'll show up for a meeting at your HOA if you have one, but you won't show up for a meeting at your local, congressman's office or state legislator or whatever. You won't do that, but you want to complain when things don't go the way you think they should. So, it's just sometimes you got to actually take the extra effort to look into somebody else's life and think, man, how did this person get there? Whether it's wealthy person or it's a person that's not wealthy, and really make better decisions in who you're choosing to lead you, because that's what we're doing. We're being led, and you have the power to change things. You may not think you do, but you do. So pick your leader, choose your leaders wisely. You never know, you may end up being a leader yourself if you give yourself a chance. That's just some things that's been on my mind. Peace.